Hi, this is Meg. Welcome to Spit It Out, where we cut the fluff and spill life's real truths. Today's episode is going to be a little bit of a different one. I'm going to be talking about my experience making friends in college, especially dental hygiene school. And when I say dental hygiene school, I want you to think a little broadly. I want you to think PT school, medical school, dental school, nursing school, anything that's a cohort that you were stuck with these random people for 2 to 4 years of your life. You don't know them. You've probably moved to a different city to go to this school. You've all just ended up in the same place for an extended amount of time, and you have to work together to pass. So that's a little bit of context with today's episode. I want to go back to 2020. I was in my freshman year of college. This was second semester. My college boyfriend had just broken up with me. So lucky. And I moved back into my parents' home, which they owned this home. They weren't living in it. They were literally about to sell it when the pandemic happened. So they had just moved to a different home. So I was living in this home by myself. And I think I went a little stir crazy, as most people did. I became kind of like that anxious friend. I would definitely call myself an anxious friend back then. I was kind of needy, and I don't really blame myself for feeling needy or feeling this way at all, but I was definitely that type of friend that nowadays I would consider that pretty annoying. A lot was going on at the time. Like I said, my boyfriend had just broken up with me. I had a couple fallouts with some people that was very unexpected after the breakout, like basically our mutual friends. A lot of that really broke my heart, the way that things went down, because I really liked these people. I don't know, I thought we were buds. And so, as you can tell, I just had a lot of mental stress going on and a lot of different changes going on. Second year of college rolls around and I become the resident housing association president. I was leading this little group of people basically virtually, and I had never done that before. Ever. I didn't technically even sign up for this position. I was kind of appointed to it, which I'm super thankful for it. Don't get me wrong, but as a 20-year-old, I didn't really know what the heck I was doing or how to be a good leader or truthfully how to be a good adult. I didn't know anything. And so I made a lot of mistakes with that group alone. You know, I wanted to be friends with absolutely everybody in that group, but I made mistakes along the way. I learned a lot from being the president of RHA, is what we called it. After all of that year passed, I took all the lessons I learned and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to dental hygiene school and I'm going to be a good leader finally. Like, I'm going to figure out what the heck I'm doing because I've already experienced all of this. I got into dental hygiene school. Yay! I started in August of 2021. We were all still wearing masks. We were all still super PPE'd up with like anything you can think of. Every single thing you can think of. And then all of a sudden, I was stuck with about 32 girls that I didn't know. And we were all kind of thrown into this little town together and didn't know each other, didn't know much about what we were learning, and all of a sudden it was super intense very, very quickly. We kind of were like, oh my gosh, okay, so we kind of have to work together or else we're not going to make it through at all. Right before I left, I had made a friend that was very dear to me. She was a very close friend. And we were kind of attached at the hip until I left for dental hygiene school. I visited her family in a different state for like a week. You know, we knew every single thing about each other. And it kind of was a codependent relationship. And I'll talk to you about that in a different episode. But just for context, I left her behind. I left my boyfriend behind and some other really good friends that I had made along the way. Just all of the good people from Boise State. When I left, I was very lonely. I clung on to anything that I knew, which was leadership. And I was like, well, yeah, I figured out how to do this in my last job, so I can do it again, but I'm going to do it better. I became the SADA Student Dental Hygiene Association president of ISU class of 2023. Junior year of dental hygiene school, I was the vice president. So I was kind of working under the current president, learning the ropes, whatever. And then second year, senior year, I became the actual president. First year of dental hygiene school, I really tried to make some friends. I tried so hard because I was so lonely, but I didn't feel like anyone really connected with me, you know, like the girls at home. I felt very isolated. And I remember I was in anatomy and physiology for head and neck, which is a very strenuous class, very hard. There's so much to learn so quickly. And there's just so many intricate little details you have to learn for the exam, just for a little context. And there was this group of girls that literally sat like right next to me. So I was around them like every day. I knew that they were studying together and they were doing pretty good. You know, they probably met up every Wednesday or something and like had a little study powwow. And I was really struggling in this class. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? And in my head, I was like, okay, well, I need to get some help. I basically texted this girl asking if I could join the study group. I was clearly struggling and I just needed some help. And I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, yeah, she's going to be so nice. And she's going to say, yes, you should totally just hang out with us. You know, we meet here. There's only 3 of us, so it should be totally fine. No, I did not get that reply. To my surprise, I got a reply saying, hey, we're actually already booked up. We're already filled up. We have too many people, so I don't think you can join us. And my little heart just broke. I was like, oh, so you're full. You don't have any room for anyone else, but you have 3 people. Man, your room must be really small. I'm kidding. It just really sucked because I also had hung out with these girls, honestly, like a few weeks prior, and like we had a good time. So I figured we were cool, but not cool enough to study with them, I guess. So that kind of sucked. I mean, I was fine. I passed the class. I studied my butt off for that class because I had to do it all by myself. So I figured out how to use Anki. I figured out how to use this little book that I had, and I just memorized the crap out of absolutely everything, and I did really good. You know, I passed really well. Moving on, kind of started to cling on to like different people. I would like try out different girls to be my friend, and they were all kind of preoccupied, so I didn't really make a whole lot of friends until probably second semester of junior year. My friend that was very dear to me in Boise, we had a falling out, and it was very hard on me to where I still struggle sometimes with it. I still think about this friendship fallout. It was a long process from like January until April. So it was kind of like a 4-month falling out in a way. Just basically a lot of stuff happened. Once we stopped becoming friends, I was still so anxious from our friendship that I kind of just had to like chill and be sad and grieve this relationship. And I freaking grieved. I really did. For a long time. And I finally did make a little group. My friends Jay and E from dental hygiene school were really, really nice to me. And we really did have some good times together. And we studied together probably for the next, year in dental hygiene school. And we didn't have absolutely everything in common either. We're still friends outside of dental hygiene school, but we really have completely different lives. And I knew that while we were in dental hygiene school. Me and Jay were pretty darn close. For sure. We talked about quite a bit to a limit, and I really appreciated her time. And so did she, I think. I think we just had a really good friendship, just genuinely good friendship. If you think about it, it took a while for me to even make these 2 girls as my friends. It was months and months and months of just being like lonely. And there was a lot of girls in my program that formed cliques and formed groups, and I wasn't really part of any of them. I felt very left out, and I think that's a common problem with people like me because I want to be friends with everyone, and I can't wrap my head around people making cliques or groups, but that's just me. I'm just never been one of those people to really do that. Not really. I just love supporting absolutely everybody. If you guys follow me on TikTok, you've probably had a comment on your post. If you're a dental hygienist or student, I'm always going to be there to hype you up and just be there for you, because why not? If I see something cool, I'm not going to just scroll past it and like not say anything if it's awesome. Like, what's the point in that? That's so lame. It's literally so lame to me. I just like being friends with everybody. I learned becoming a young adult into who I am now that there are going to be some people out there that genuinely just don't want to be friends with you. Or maybe they see you as competition, or they compare themselves with you. People like that will kind of tear you down. I had some other girls that in senior year, I did end up finding a little group that kind of fluctuated with its members in and out, but we would go drinking together. We would go to the club together in the little town that I was in school for. And it was so much fun. Like, we had great memories, but even that group had like another group inside of it that I wasn't part of, if that makes sense. Like, there was just so many different cliques and groups that I just was not a part of. And I think that's fine. Like, I was there for school. And that's kind of where I'm getting at is if I could talk to myself my little 20-year-old self going into dental hygiene school, I would probably tell her, you need to focus on yourself. If someone's there not supporting you, you don't need to run after them. If someone doesn't want you there, don't beg to be there. I want to circle back also to the Student American Dental Hygiene Association that I mentioned earlier. I thought that I had learned enough from the Resident Housing Association, RHA, that I was a leader of, but I didn't. Was doing pretty good the first few months of leading it senior year, but I think once this grief kind of hit me again senior year of dental hygiene school, I kind of just stopped caring. And also studying for boards senior year, I just stopped caring. I was selfish mode, 100%. I need to pass these freaking tests. I don't care who I have to disappoint. Sorry. I stopped doing everything that I like to do, which in hindsight, I also kind of regret doing that. I was kind of a hermit. At that point, I was like, well, I need to pass these tests because I need to start my freaking job and move back to wherever all my friends are. I didn't do the best job leading that group, and I kind of wish I did better. After I finished dental hygiene school and my head kind of just screwed on again, I had a lot more ideas that I think would have been beneficial for the students, but you can only do so much. I think under the circumstances that I was living under and just the circumstances that was my life, I think I did the best I could with what I knew and what I had. If I was going to do it right now, would I do it completely differently? Absolutely. Of course I would. That was kind of the end of the SADA saga. It wasn't anything crazy, but I probably could have done better with that for sure. When it comes to making friends in a cohort, it's also important to remember that all of you are put into this program for a reason, but that reason is not that you guys all have the same interests or the same lifestyle. You are in every single class together. It's fine, but that doesn't mean that everyone is friend material. And that is okay. It's totally fine. I still to this day struggle with making friends sometimes, especially online. In person, in my real life, I'm totally content with my friends. I love my friends. I don't have a lot of close friends, and I think that's beautiful. But on social media, for example, a lot of people will not support you. I've had to choose my social media friends very wisely, and I definitely have. I have a very small group of individuals that I chat with on a pretty much daily basis, and we bounce ideas off each other. And, it's just kind of this little group that I love. And if they're listening right now, just know I love you guys so much. And you are so sweet and so awesome. And I appreciate you all the time, every single day. I guess I just want to wrap this up by saying, if you are going into dental hygiene school, nursing school, medical school, anything like that, and you are going into a cohort, just know that you are going to be surrounded by the same people for 2 to 4 years, and that is okay. You do not have to be everyone's friend. You are the most important person you are going to live with for the rest of your life. You got to make yourself happy, and you got to put yourself above others, because whatever program you're in is going to be very difficult. It's going to be very strenuous, and it's going to take a lot of time from you. If I could give you any sister advice, focus on you. Focus on the people you can trust in those cohorts. And take the time to know your material, know it well, and ask questions. Ask every single question. You're not lame for asking questions. I don't know if this episode is going to resonate with anybody or help anyone at all, but I just wanted to share my experience because I don't think I'm necessarily the only one who struggles making friends in a cohort. I think it's pretty universal. Thank you for listening. I love you so much. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.